all. Oh, Lord have mercy. I don't do imitations, but that was my one and only. That was Joe Biden going up the steps to the airplane. Anyway, I'm Paul J. Sullivan. Those of you with a curious mind, J stands for genius. We all do. Gummy bears, a little slow tonight. Anyway, I'm from Southern Maryland. It makes me a Southern redneck. And for those of you familiar with the state of Maryland, our motto is Maryland is for crabs. And that's why I only date women from the other 49 states. Kind of losing track of how many states there are. But anyway, a buddy of mine was telling me the other day that Disney's coming out with a new movie about a transgender whale. They're going to call it Maybe Dick. So I'm a baby boomer. Anybody out there? Baby boomers? There's three things they said you will always remember. The assassination of President Kennedy, the attack during 9/11, and the first time you ever ate candy. I remember it well. I was 15. Candy was 13 and a half. Anyway, so recently I put myself in Sex Anonymous. Not that I have a problem with sex or an addiction, it's just a whole lot cheaper than these online dating sites. And it's also a lot more efficient. You know, my first day in class, I met this girl, we didn't even know her name, and man, we were going at the end of the day like you couldn't believe. I mean, I was sliding in a home plate, first day out. Anyway, the former sexual position known as 69 has now been changed to 96 due to inflation and the high cost of eating out. You know, I was married for 25 years and got my walking papers. I found myself out in California. I met this little girl out there. She was barefooted. She was 5'1", and laying on her back, she was 3'7". You want to talk about the grand Tetons. But yeah, she loved martini, sex, and Jesus, just in that order, but I'm not going to get into it tonight. So anyway, I mean, I was dating all these crazy women, so I said, you know what, maybe I ought to get away from the Americans. So I figured, I went online, I met an Asian girl, all right, and she was great. 10 years we dated, beautiful girl. My friends would say, boy, she's hot looking. Where'd you meet her? I said, on mesohorny.com. You know, back in my day, I had this very liberal sister-in-law. We started talking about God, and I referred to God as He. And so she gets up in my face and says, what makes you so sure God is a He? So I thought about it for a second, and I said, look who got PMS in the period. You don't think he'd give that to himself, do you? So anyway, all these commercials for erectile malfunction, it's like, does everybody have a problem with that? Now, going back to my girlfriend, I guess about 10 years ago, we're down in Jamaica, and the cab driver we're riding around with talks about this plant that they have down there. And he says, you make tea out of it, and it's better than Viagra. And I said, well, I'm a horticulturalist. Can I get seeds? He said, yeah, I got some. So I took them home, grew it, dried it out, tried it. I said, Lord have mercy, this is some good stuff. And I just want to let you all know I am now selling it online, both the seeds and the plants, but you got to go to your app store to get it's a free app. It's called DicDoc, D-I-C-D-O-C. So y'all been following these stories on the whales that have been dying. Sad story on the Atlantic Ocean. So it's been like going on for years now, and hundreds of them have died. But in the last few months, there's been like, I don't know, 36 that have, died and washed up on the shore between Delaware Beach and New York beaches. And every time, they die, they do an autopsy. Well, if you're not familiar with whales, the only thing they eat is plankton. So, they're going through the water, eating everything. Well, this one had washed up on the shore of Delaware, so they did the autopsy on it, and it came back that it died from consuming too many boxes of classified information. Uncle Joe heard about it, and he fired 10 illegal aliens. So I think that's about it for me. Thank you so much.
Guys, put your hands together for Mr. Glenn Friedman.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was good. Now we're going to keep up the